Whakalofalahi atu. My name is Lynette Faiva. I am part of the family support team at the Jet Park quarantine. Today I was the first MIQ worker to be vaccinated.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. Yeah, I've had that question asked quite a few times today, so I'm not sure how I'm meant to be feeling, but I feel normal, yeah.
Let's just go along the line, and I want everyone to introduce themselves, and then we'll open it up for questions, please.
Okay, talofa lava. I'm Drew Leafa. I'm the operations manager at the quarantine facility, and I was the second person MIQ worker to be vaccinated this morning.
Hi everyone, I'm Lorna Masoe. I'm pretty much an in-betweener in the operations and medical team at the Jet Park quarantine site. I was the third one to get vaccinated today.
Kia ora, ko Tracy Peterson. I'm a registered nurse and authorised vaccinator at Turiki Healthcare.
Great. So I'd like to open it up for questions, and if needs be, I will help moderate the questions. But there might be some further questions here for Lynette.
Tracy, you're part of my there's the questions here. So you've had the training, and now you're going to be going out into the communities and doing these vaccinations in the different tiers that you have to do it. But thinking about our whānau, and there's a lot of hesitancy still within our whānau, what are your feelings, and what is your key message out to our kuia karaua and our whānau out there still on the fence?
It's about getting reliable, science-based information. And once we have that, and I think if our whānau have a good experience when they come, so for instance, the MIQ staff now, so when we're giving the vaccination, we're also trying to encourage them or give them accurate information so that they can take that home, because that's where it will spread. If they were comfortable getting the vaccine, they're more likely to get their whānau, who will then go into the community and talk about their experience. So I think that's the key message, is giving them the correct information.
And if you were talking to your kuia right now, what would you say to her?
Get it. I got it. I wouldn't have gotten it if I didn't think that it was safe, or that I actually got it for my mokopuna and my whānau. So it's to protect everyone else.
Tracy, can you tell us about your team? How many nurses are in it, and how it's going to work at the MIQ there?
I think the focus is more on our MIQ staff today, because they were the ones who got it. So if we could go to them.
Lynette, can you tell us how you felt to be the very first?
Pretty privileged and honoured, but for me it's not about being first, it's all about, having this opportunity to be able to get vaccinated. So I think for me that was important. So we were in it together and we all got done at the same time, so I think we're just very fortunate to be able to have that done.
So were you nervous at that time?
Sorry?
So were you nervous at that time?
Nervous, sorry.
Yeah.
Not to get the vaccine done, maybe more with, the videographer that was there, but getting the vaccine, that was probably the easiest part, so not nervous at all.
So how does it feel? Does it feel the pain?
No, nothing at all. It was a tiny little prick. There's nothing to be afraid of. It was really easy.
Do you feel like you were given good information, strong, reliable information, and talked through everything before you got the vaccine?
Absolutely. At the quarantine, we're very fortunate to have a team there that we can reach out to. So if a question was just to pop up out of nowhere, I knew who I could go to and get those answers from.
Drew, can you talk us through the process of what happens? Because very few people have been through what you've been through.
Yeah, well, waking up this morning knowing that you're going to be vaccinated, as Lynette said, it's a privilege and an honour. And turn up to work this morning, I guess a different kind of vibe, because you're not coming to work to do what we're doing our normal work-wise, but you're actually something special today, and something, it's a milestone for New Zealand and for our quarantine sites and all the MIQ. So just making my way up there and just watching everyone around, just seeing this whole vibe in my head was just focusing on the special occasion, and I'll take this to my grave that I was the second person vaccinated, and promoting what we're doing here to the rest of the country, to New Zealand, to say, listen guys, do it. It's going to help us, and we'll be #1 in the world. So yeah.
Is it going to make you feel safer at work? How are you, all three of you, going to feel about going to work at the Jet Park now after this event tonight?
Feelings are unexplainable, you know. This is just that one extra layer of protection that we have. More so not working there, it's more so going home to our families. So it is a big thing for us working at the facility, but you know, it's a great idea for us to serve our nation. Yeah. So yeah.
I think also nothing changes when we go to work in terms of how we do things, and you know, it is another layer of protection, and you know, it's business as usual. You know, we still carry on with the way that we following our processes and protocols. So yeah, it's.
To those of us observing, you know, that plane landed on Monday. Here we are on Saturday. It seems incredibly quick. How's it felt for you, and when did you know that today was the day for the vaccination?
I guess we were told earlier in the week what was happening, and that a few of us were being nominated, and like our group general manager Nicole Lawson had said, listen, I'm going to put up 3 or 5 of you guys, and we were honoured that she thought of us, and you know, here we are now, and you know, just excited. So yeah.
And did you discuss it with your families? Did you go home and say, no, it's me, or how did it also
Yeah, I think we did. I mean, well, because Lynette, you've got a family, so how did you?
Yeah, I told them that I was going to be on TV, basically. But, you know, my family, they don't know if they're going to get it done or not. So, but what I'm going to do is today I'm going to go home and I'm going to share my experience with them. I'm going to tell them that there's nothing to be afraid of, that it doesn't hurt. But if they had any question, obviously reach out. And, you know, we've got our contacts at the quarantine who we can reach out to as well and get answers for them. So we want to make sure as well that they are feeling confident with their decision that they make. So yeah.
Will they feel happier about you though working there? Will they feel safer when you go home? It's a bit of a strange question, but do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just like at the quarantine, we have our protocols and our processes in place. When I go home, I have the same thing. I have protocols and processes in place as well. So I go home, I can't hug my family. You know, I've got to go jump in the shower first, get all my clothes off, put that into the laundry. So, you know, those are things that I've got to follow through with, you know, when I go home to my family, because it would absolutely devastate me if I was to take something home with me and, you know, they would catch it. So.
Can I ask you other two as well, what's it been like to kind of shoulder that sort of responsibility and worry over the last few months, maybe a year?
Yeah, well, I mean, at the quarantine site, we treat it as level 4. So whenever we go off site, we still treat it as level 4 because of, I mean, to be honest, I feel safer at work than I do outside in the community, because the community is still being educated. They've got to understand the science, the research, and a lot of them don't know what's been thrown at them. And this, as for all of us here, it's such a different phenomenon. We're not used to something like this. So it's just, yeah, I mean, like I said, the research, you know, the stuff that you get on the media and the guidance and the science, it's just trying to learn all that. But for me, it's been an educational side of things, and it's just trying to put it out to all the you know, the total community, you know, the Pacific Islander, the Muslims, the Maldives, the Indians, the Asians, just letting everyone know that it is absolutely safe and that we're doing this, you know, for us three to do it, it's just providing to the community that, hey, you know, if we can do it, then so can you. So.
Do you know when you're going to get your next vaccine?
Yes, 21 days time, so I think it's on the 13th of March. Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
Looking forward to it. Because I didn't actually even feel it. I thought I was waiting there and she said, I said, is it done? She goes, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. So, please, it's better than when you get the flu injection.
Drew, you talked about when you go out, it being like being in level 4 all the time. I'm not quite sure what extent those restrictions are you have outside the house, but does it ever kind of take a toll on your mental health? Maybe, I don't know, not being able to go to a restaurant or, you know, those sorts of limitations?
Yeah, it does. I mean, for example, I love my rugby and I couldn't play last year because I didn't want a team to find out where I was working and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just aware of other people. I mean, when you see people coughing and you wear your mask and the stigma you get around that kind of stuff. I mean, especially when people find out we're at Jet Park, the stigma and how some of us can be victimised about it. That's the toughest thing. So what we're trying to do is promote to everyone, to let everyone know that what we're doing is for the country, but at the same time we're doing our job to protect all the Kiwis returning back home, make them feel welcome, and when they leave there, you know, they feel like they've been looked after and all that. So it's a tough one, but until we get through this next level, it's just trying to educate everybody. But yeah, I know it is hard because everywhere you go, you're scanning the QR code. I've got sanitizer in my car, I've got sanitizer in my bag. Even when I go to the bathroom, you just leave a little tissue. It's just being cautious in every way it is, just to make sure that, you know, we've got to lead by example. So
what procedure needs to be done before you're receiving a vaccine, like temperature check or blood check?
Well, every day we have a health check every day, and then once a week we're swabbed. I think my left nose has been violated about 44 times. But yeah, we get all those protocols, and like we get our temperature check, we had our serology test and all that kind of stuff. So everything that we do at the facility is just mainly make sure that we are fit to work. If anyone turns up with even the slightest symptom, a cough, a runny nose, they're sent home. We take every precaution because we just don't want it to bring it through. Because I mean, you can imagine we in the ops room lead everything, for example, and if one of us was to get sick, you take down the whole team, and that's quite a devastating result. So yeah, so we follow every protocol and procedure we put in place with us. So.
How do you feel about the fact that the swabbing is going to continue, that even though you've had the vaccine, things are going to pretty much stay the same for you in your work environment for the time being?
I think it's just more of a backup. I mean, you know, you've got to have a plan A, a plan B, and plan C. So this vaccine, for me, is brilliant, but at the same time, doing your swabbing every week, because you just never know where you may go. I mean, you may touch some kind of surface and all you got to do is you forget something, you got to go like this and wipe your head and forget about it. So for me, that's a backup plan. So if the vaccine's working, sure, but the swab will also be, you know, for me, it's just more comforting knowing I get that once a week anyway. So
I also, you know, have my parents who are in their 70s in my bubble, so it's important for me that I'm doing everything that I can to ensure that I'm keeping them safe and the rest of my family safe as well. So, you know, having the swabs done every week, I mean, it's my left nose, that's my best, you know, nostril, my left nostril, sorry, that's my best one, and I'm used to it, it's fine, it's nothing, you know, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I'm keeping everybody that, you know, come into close contact with me safe, so, yeah.
Has this experience changed you all this year, working at the Jet Park, or 10 months, however long it's been? Has it changed you and how you view your life and your community?
Yeah. There are some obstacles. I mean, the other day I was trying to make a booking for my daughter's dental appointment, and you know, they go through that screen test, and you know, you tell them that you work at the quarantine and they tell you I'll call you back. So they obviously got their protocols and processes in place, you know, for people that do work at the quarantine. But I mean, you know, if the Tracer app existed before COVID, it wouldn't look any different from what I have today, to be quite honest. So, yeah.
Tracy, no matter how cool people are with vaccines, they're often a bit nervous about the needle. I just wonder how everyone went today.
They actually did extremely well. So it's all about making people feel comfortable. So when you're working in the community, you already know that you need to gauge that person and build a little bit of a rapport before you're going to bring that needle out. So I think that's what the basis is making sure that they're comfortable. We still go ahead, so they did their health check when they came in, which is their usual protocol. So there is the consent forms like you do with regular vaccinations, and then we do go through the regular vaccination questions. And so we do everything as per normal, it's just that we're giving this vaccine instead of your regular one. So they've gone through that process today, and then so not only do they give written consent, but when we sit down with them, we'll talk with them again, then we'll do a verbal consent as well. So it's consented on both ends.
Maybe a couple more questions, please.
Lynette, you said some of your family were unsure about getting the vaccine. How did they feel about you getting it? Were they nervous or anything?
It's not that they're unsure, I just don't know what decision that they've made. Yeah, I think it was more the fact that I was going to be on the news that they were more excited about than getting the vaccine, so yeah.
Have you seen them or talked to them since?
No. No.
Have any of you talked to your families yet?
No.
Have any of you got any of the minor side effects, like the sore arm or a headache or any of that stuff?
No.
Good.
It's really good.